All right, so it's Monday. Glad to be back to school. Really tired, but let's get to work. The first thing we need to do is we need to make sure we're skipping a page inside of our math notebooks today because we're gonna have our the topic 16 coordinate geometry divider. It's really important for you guys to make sure when you go home tonight, or if you have extra time today in class, you explain something you hope to understand better by the end of this unit. Because a lot of you guys were struggling with filling these out, and I'm starting to take a whole letter grade off on your math notebooks if you don't fill these out properly. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna leave my page blank, a whole page, front and back, and that's for my divider. And you guys will get your dividers today. So then on the next page, we're gonna do 16-1. And 16-1 topic is called ordered pairs. And then my essential question would be, how do you name a point on a coordinate grid? And then once I'm done with that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch over to my graph paper, and we're gonna do our vocabulary words on graph paper today. And then what you'll do is you'll just go ahead and you'll staple the graph paper sideways into your math notebook when we're done. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and label my graph paper 16-1 and then write ordered pairs on it. Okay, and now I'm going to create a graph, and on my graph I want the y-axis to go to 7, and I want the x-axis to go to 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put a dot, and I know that's going to be my origin, or that would be 0. And then before I do anything, I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to go 1 up and make an arrow so I know I'm higher than what I need to be. And then I'm going to do the same thing this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I'm going to go 1 up and make an arrow. The reason I'm making an arrow is because this graph is infinite. This number line keeps going forever and ever and ever. And one way we represent that in math is we do a line with an arrow. That means it just keeps going into infinity. So the next thing I need to do is I need to make sure I'm numbering my y-axis and I'm numbering my x-axis. And what I notice with a lot of you guys is you try to number inside this little box, but what we actually need to do is number our lines. So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let it get clear for a second. And it's really important that we stay on those lines, because when we start numbering stuff later, if we're not on the lines, it's going to get really confusing. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now if you guys have some type of markers or colored pencils, or you want to get up quietly and get markers or colored pencils, I'm okay with that. Quietly. And basically we're just going to we're going to label some stuff on here today. The first thing I'm going to label is I'm going to label the axis on the bottom. That is called the x-axis. Do a little arrow. Color it in some. Okay. Then my one going up and down. And what is another word for up and down? Vertically, horizontal. This right here is going to be my y-axis. So this over here, the overall picture, the large picture right here, this whole, if I block this in like this whole block right here, and don't block it in, only do that for this example, okay? This whole block right here is called a coordinate grid. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just stabbed myself with the pencil. We're gonna label point A, and we're gonna find it on a graph. And the coordinates for point A, or the order pair, is 4, 6. Okay. And I know that this is, so what we're going to do is when we go to plot this, we go the 4 on the x-axis, and then we go up to 6. So my dot is right there. And right over here, I'm going to label it 4/6. And this right here, it's called an ordered pair. And then I need the 4 is called your x coordinate. And the 6 is called your y coordinate. So our overall definitions for this whole unit are going to be y-axis, x-axis, x-coordinate, y-coordinate, ordered pair, and coordinate grid. So the next thing I want you guys to do is I would like you guys to do guided practice and independent. We're going to do guided practice 1 through 7, and then we'll do independent practice 9 through 19 odd. Or actually, there's some on the back. So we're going to do 9 through 27 odd. And I'll write this down here for you guys. Slide this up a little bit. So your goal today is guided practice. Actually, let me make this smaller. And if you want, you can keep using this graph paper for your guided practice and your independent practice, and then you just staple it into your math notebook when you're done. So guided practice is on page 367. And we're going to do number 1 through 7, all. And then independent practice is on page 367 through 368. And we're going to do 9 through 27 odd. And like I said, we can continue using the graph paper. And if we need to, we can just go ahead and staple this into our math notebooks when we're done with it. Alright guys, make sure as always, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and comment. Have a great day.